Good morning, everyone. Happy Easter. Welcome. Whether you're here every Sunday or whether today's your very first time walking through these doors, either way, I want you to know something. You are exactly where you're supposed to be this morning. Not by accident, not by habit for some of us, by calling. Now, I know what Easter looks like. It looks like lilies, and we have those. It looks like a beautiful cross, and we have that too. And it looks like your best outfit, which, I see you, and y'all look marvelous, so you have done that. It looks like family gathered and eggs hidden, or not so hidden. And maybe a little too much chocolate already. Anybody? No? Ooh, we're good in this room. Easter looks like celebration, and I am here for every bit of that, but I wonder if just for the next little while, if we might let Easter mean something to us too, more than celebration, something to live. There's a line in A Course in Miracles that I've been sitting with all week, and it says, "The song of Easter is the glad refrain. The Son of God was never crucified." Now, if you've grown up in a traditional church, that sentence might catch you off guard. Maybe it even stirs up something, right? And I want to be gentle with that because I'm not here to take anything away from you. Okay, I'm here to offer something. What if the resurrection, the thing that we're here to celebrate today, was never really about what happened to a body? What if it was always about what cannot happen to what you truly are? Ernest Holmes, whose work is at the foundation of this teaching here, he said something that I keep returning to. He said, "The resurrection is the death of the belief that we are separate from God. Death is to the illusion alone and not to reality. God did not die. What happened is that man awoke to life. Man awoke to life." That is what Easter is. Not a rescue, it's not a transaction, not something done for us at a cost that we can never repay. It was a gift, an awakening. And here is what I know to be true, and what I really want you to hear this morning. That awakening is not only available to Jesus. It is available right now in this room on this day to you. I want to ask you something, and I would love for you to really sit with it for a minute, okay? Think of something in your life that has felt like loss. Something big, yet not so big that you can't look at it without hurting, okay? Maybe it's a relationship that changed, or a door that closed, or a version of yourself that you believed in that somewhere along the way you stopped believing in. Something that felt, when it happened, like a part of you went with it. Okay, are you there? Does everybody have that place? Now notice something. You're still here. I know that because I can see you. Something in you remained. Something in you has been loving and breathing and reaching and hoping through every single thing that ever felt like it might take you down. What if that something is who you actually are? What if the part of you that remained, that has always remained, is not the fragile part? Stay with me here. What if that is the real part? The Course says, in you the knowledge lies, ready to be unveiled and freed from all the terror that kept it hidden. There is no fear in love. Some folks aren't into the whole A Course in Miracles thing, and I hear that. I wasn't always into it myself. So maybe you prefer biblical passages, especially here on Easter. How about this from the Gospel of John 4:16? There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. No fear in love. Not fear is manageable. It's not fear can be overcome with enough work. There is no fear in love. Because where love is, fully and truly and completely, fear simply has no home. And love is what you are made of. It's not what you're trying to become. It's not what you will be once you've done the work. It's what you are right now. What you've always been. And as you sit here in your Easter best, perhaps a little chocolated up, that is a state that I look forward to very much today. Maybe carrying something heavy, or maybe feeling wonderful. Whatever's true for you this morning, you are made out of love. And nothing, not a thing that has ever happened, nothing anyone has ever done, nothing you've ever feared has changed that. Now here's where Easter gets interesting, because if that is true, and I'm telling you it is, I believe it is with everything that I am. If that is true, then the question stops being, how do I get through this when events happen? But it becomes, how do I live from this? Jesus didn't just demonstrate that death couldn't hold him. He demonstrated what it looks like to move through the world as someone who knows that you are made of love. He forgave from the cross, not after, from it. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He met his betrayer with his name and nothing else. No accusation, no wound worn as a weapon. And after the crucifixion, he walked back into rooms full of frightened people and said, "Peace be with you." Not, "Look what you let happen." Look what you did. That is a person who knows what he and every one of us is made of. And that is the invitation of Easter, not to admire him for it, but to do it. You can leave here this morning and say, "What a beautiful service," or, "Wow, that unsettled me," and that's fair. And I will love if you say, "This is a beautiful service." I really will. Or you can walk out of here as someone who recognizes that nothing real in me has ever been harmed. And I will live like that's true. Not just today or when it's easy, every time I choose. And before we go deep and we start falling asleep, I want to invite you into something. This cross in front of me and the one behind me has meant a whole lot of things over the centuries to a whole lot of different people. And today I want it to hold one thing. And that is a place where we say yes. Not yes to suffering or yes to sacrifice. I want us to say yes to love as the way we will live. What I am saying is that from this moment on, I want you to say yes to not just asking what would Jesus do, but doing as Jesus would. If you've been here a while, then you know this. But for those of you who may be here for the first time, there's a word that is used in churches all across the world, which has lost its original meaning. There's actually a couple of them. But when folks say Christ, even if you Google it and you ask what the Christ is, it automatically comes up as Jesus. And that is right. But Christ wasn't his name. It was his calling. The original meaning was one who is anointed. And it was used for prophets and princes and priests and kings and all sorts of people in perceived power in society were given the Christ anointment. And this is important, and this I just realized last night. Christianity laid claim to the world because I'm sure that they were hoping that people would hear it and understand that to be a Christian means to accept the anointment into becoming a Christ, one who moves as Jesus did, to move in the world and do what Jesus taught us to do. Jesus, the man whom others called God, who said that we are all his sisters and brothers. Not his children, his sisters and brothers. And the world took the powerful, empowering meaning of the world and applied it, of the word, and only applied it to one person, which defies everything Jesus taught. He said, "Truly, truly, I say to you, the one believing in me, the works that I do, also he will do. And he will do greater than these, because I am going to the Father. I am going to the Father, and you won't see me anymore. So believe in all that I have taught and demonstrated for you, and you will do even greater things." Or in other words, do what I've done. He didn't say worship me and ask me to do what you want done. And I know that's going to ruffle feathers, but it's the truth. That's what he said. He said, remember me and do as I would. In a moment, I'm going to play a song for you. It is a very moving Easter song, and it's one of my favorites. In fact, it's the only Easter song that I truly love. And try as I might, I cannot sing the song because I start crying on page 2. And I've tried desensitization. It has not happened. I can't do it. It is called He's Alive, and it's by Dolly Parton. And I put a copy of the lyrics in your programs. Oh, did I hear an oh no? Some folks are like, ooh, that's a rough one. It is a hard song to listen to. I put a copy of the lyrics in your programs, and I want you to read those later when you have a chance, because they're really, really important. And they really, really speak to what I'm saying here. And the song was written from the perspective of Paul, the Apostle Paul. And while the song plays, if you're willing to say yes, if you are willing to accept that Christ anointment, if you are willing to do what Jesus would do and love this world and everyone in it into peace, if you are willing to walk the walk of peace and speak words which include everyone in God's love without reservation. If you are willing to move from here, able to call everyone, and hear me when I say everyone, your sister or brother or other, then prove that you mean it by acting that way. Come forward during the song and lay your rose there among the lilies at the cross. This is not a moment of asking to be changed. This is a moment of recognizing who you are, accepting your anointment and choosing to move from that place. As you place your rose, let it be a quiet yes within you. Yes to living as love. Yes to seeing no enemy, no sides. Yes to moving through your life as a piece of the divine, because that is what you truly are. Yes to being, wherever you go, exactly what the world is asking for.
Soldiers breaking through with your song. And just before the sunrise, I heard something at the wall. The gate began to rattle, and the voice began to call. I hurried to the window, looked down into the street, expecting swords and torches, and the sound of soldiers' feet. But there was no one there but Mary, so I went down to let her in. John stood there beside me, and she told me where she'd been. She said they moved him in the night, and none of us knows where. The stone's been rolled away, and now his body isn't there. So we rolled him in cold night, then John ran on ahead. We found the stone and empty tomb, just the way Mary said. But the one she there up in there was just an empty shell. And how good it taken him was more than I could tell. Oh, something strange had happened there, just what I did not know. John believed the miracle, but I just turned to go. Circumstance and speculation couldn't lift me very high, 'cause I'd seen them crucified, then I saw him die. Back inside the house again, the guilt today was king. Everything I promised him just added to my shame. When at last it came to choices, I knew his name. And even if he was lying, it wouldn't be the same. But suddenly, the air was filled with a strange and sweet perfume. Light came from everywhere, no shadows from the room. And Jesus stood before me with his arms around mine. And I fell down on my knees, and I just couldn't get over the cry. When he raised me to my feet, and as I looked into his eyes, the love was shining out from him like sunlight from the skies. Guilt and my confusion disappeared in sweet peace. And every just melt in peace.
That was a song, wasn't it? I see some tearful faces up here. It's a big one. And if you didn't get to hear the lyrics, read them later. Pull it up if you can and listen to it, because I tell you, you get about 30 seconds in and your heart breaks. Now, as you leave here today, you will again be given a rose or a lily on the way out. But this one is for you. Every time you see a rose today or next week or next year, let it be a reminder. Let it call you back to this moment. Not to the promise you made, but to something that you recognize, that you are inherently divine, holy, and then lean into it and show the world who we all are. You have come here today to celebrate Easter, the resurrection of Jesus the Christ, and that is a beautiful, holy, worthy thing. But what you've truly come here to do is become. I meant it when I said you came here for a reason. To become a living expression of that same love, that same courage, that same unbreakable life that Jesus demonstrated. You have been called here not to observe or admire, but to answer. And now, you beloved, beautiful, anointed child of the Most High, you get to go out and live like it. Happy Easter. On your way out, if you would like further anointing, let me know. Okay? I've got it with me. Thank you.